In honor of Season 4 having recently come out, today we're dissecting combat in the world of the Expanse to figure out exactly why they lack a certain staple of science fiction fleets, the starfighter. So without further ado, while it's not impossible for a fighter to exist in the universe with full Newtonian physics, their viability in combat is, how should I put it, questionable. Now, traditionally, a fighter both in the real world and in works of fiction are generally defined as a fast and agile weapons platform that can extend the range of weapons well beyond the parent vessel's own ability, and also engage similar platforms in combat. A good pair of starfighters in more realistic, i.e. Newtonian abiding, settings are the Viper Mark II of Battlestar Galactica and the Starfury Aurora of Babylon 5. The Viper Mark II has a very small space frame at only 8.4 meters in length, with a single set of main engines in the back and a powerful array of RCS thrusters, giving it sufficient maneuverability to stay effective in space combat. Being armed with a pair of affixed forward-facing autocannons, they function well as an extension of a Battlestar's defensive flak system, used primarily to counter fighters and inbound missiles. Larger craft will lose out considerably in maneuverability and thus be much less effective. And so enters the much larger Starfury Aurora, with a wingspan of 18 meters. Instead of the more traditional design of the Viper, with engines only in the rear, the Starfury instead has 4 sets of multi-directional engine blocks that gives it near Viper levels of agility on a larger space frame. The weapons loadout is quite extensive, more akin to that of a heavy fighter than the interceptor level of the Viper. With similarly short endurance but much greater offensive firepower, allows it to function in more of a combined arms escorting and limited offensive force, while remaining a threat to larger ships. So, a couple takeaways from these two semi-realistic fighters. Firstly is that to stay effective in combat, they need a high level of agility, and second is that they're exclusively meant for short-range combat. Unfortunately, the standard weapon of choice in the Expanse, the missile, is all this far better. With ranges that can easily exceed 1,000,000 kilometers, accelerations that exceed 1,000 Gs, and even capable of terminal guidance, they far exceed the capabilities of any possible manned fighter. With such dangerous long-range weaponry being the standard, defensive technology has developed around stopping them either with jamming or with incredibly accurate point defense cannons. If either the Viper or Starfury were to try to engage a capital ship from the Expanse, and, ignoring the torpedoes, their point defense guns would shred them within seconds of getting into range. It's plainly obvious these fighters would fit very poorly into the normal combat doctrine found within the show. To my knowledge, the closest approximation of a vessel like this within lore would have to be the 31-meter-long Morgan-class patrol destroyer. It functions more as a vastly miniaturized capital ship than a normal fighter, given its loadout of 2 auto-loading torpedo launchers and a pair of dorsal-mounted PDCs for defense, which are also found in the much larger cruisers and battleships. To double down on the point of it being a mini capital ship, was that it was equipped with an Epstein drive, standard interplanetary engine, giving it massive operational range. While it could be carried internally by a Doniger-class dreadnought, they weren't designed solely to be launched as a defensive force, but as a true independent deployer. In combat, a Morgan could easily take out a Viper or Starfury at long range, pretty much settling the debate over the viability of starfighters within the Expanse. So did I get this analysis right? Totally missed the mark? If you would like to see more tactical analysis or breakdowns, go ahead and comment below. Thank you for watching today's video, I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe for more content, and remember, this was your first pass at finding out why there are no starfighters in the Expanse.